For people that know me, or people that I guess frequent the podcast, I think you know that I'm an avid basketball fan. Basketball is my first passion. While yes, I talk about other sports on this podcast, basketball is my favorite sport. Um, I've been watching basketball for a while, and while there have been critics about the All-Star game, I was never one of those critics. You know, I understand what the All-Star game is. I understand that it's not just the All-Star game. Let me say All-Star weekend. I understand that it is a showcase. It showcases the top talent of the NBA. It showcases exactly what the NBA has to offer. It tries to bring in new fans. I get it. But where I want to focus on for the start of this episode is, of course, the All-Star game. Again, basketball, I love basketball to death. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those like people that I enjoy what the product that is given to me. And again, when we go back to the All-Star game, I have never really been the most critical of it. I get it. You know, it's fun. Nobody wants to get hurt. I understand what it is. I understand the goal of it. I understand, these are the best players in the world and they are putting on a show. I get it. But this year was different. This year was different. And while yes, I'm mainly talking about the All-Star game. This kind of goes This kind of goes for the entire weekend. You see, I am very adamant, and even if I wasn't a basketball fan, I am very adamant in saying that the NBA puts on the best, I guess you're just going to showcase of talent, or the best All-Star weekend. We don't need to talk about the Pro Bowl. You can talk about the quote-unquote All-Star weekend for MLB, and the Home Run Derby is quite exciting. But I don't think All-Star Weekend in NHL is good, but I just don't think that any sport does it better than the NBA when we talk about All-Star and showcasing their talent. But this year felt different. This year, I didn't feel what I usually feel when I watch All-Star Weekend, when I watch Saturday night and watch a 3-point contest or the slam dunk contest. Watch, I even enjoy the celebrity game. I enjoy the Rising Stars Challenge. I enjoy all that. But this year was different. This year it didn't feel as big. It didn't feel as important. It didn't feel as star-studded as it should. And when I say star-studded, yes, the best players in the world were still out. Yes, KD wasn't there. Steph wasn't there. Zion wasn't there. But, you still had LeBron. You still had Luka, Nikola Jokic. You still had the players. But it just didn't feel... You know what it is? During the All-Star game, this is one of the first times when I felt, while I was watching, because I watched the whole thing, I felt bored. I felt like this isn't as special as it is. Now, again, I'm not one of those people to they don't play any defense. Or it's not like the 90s where it was a legit game. I'm not like that at all. But it just felt different. See, and shouts out to, shouts out to Damian Lillard for winning 3-point contest. Shouts out for Matt McClung for winning slam dunk contest. That was pretty exciting. Shouts out to everyone that did what, shouts out to Jason Tatum for winning the All-Star game MVP, having the most points in All-Star game history. I think it was 55. Shouts out to him. But I think this is probably one of the first times where there was no defense, not an ounce of it. It was just dude coming down, hitting a three. You had a good moment when Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were going 1-on-1. Damian Lillard hit a shot, a 3-pointer past, or he didn't even go past half court. It just didn't feel. It didn't feel good. It wasn't exciting. Let me say that. It was not exciting. And shouts out to the NBA. You know, I actually enjoyed the playground style picking the players. But as you know, it was going to lead to awkward moments. It was an awkward moment when Triple J was the last pick of reserve. It was an awkward moment when Lauri Markkanen, who was a hometown player for the Utah Jazz, he was picked last. But it was followed by a funny moment, or it was following a funny moment where Nikola Jokic was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not getting picked last, bro." I don't know. And I was thinking before recording this episode, like, how can we fix it? I'm trying to be a solution-based I am a solution-based person. So how can we fix it? Now, I already know we're never going to get back to how it was in the 90s or early 2000s where they played legit defense. Because, I mean, there's really no incentive. I know that there's charities or whatever, but there's really no incentive for anybody to play. And you actually saw that this year with LeBron James. LeBron James went up for a block, hurt his hand. He was out for the rest of the game. Hell, you can even go to a different sport. You can go to the NFL. When they did the Pro Bowl or skills challenges or whatever, Myles Garrett, I think, dislocated his foot or toe or something. So, yeah, I don't think that they're ever going to really play defense like that. And I don't know. Maybe this is just a one-off. But I have heard a lot of people complain. Now, there's a lot of media people, a lot of sports media people have been complaining for years about it. And about just the lack of defense and the lack of effort or whatever. And I was always on the side of, you're missing the point. You're missing the forest from the trees or whatever the saying is. It's like, it's not real. It's meant to put on a showcase of the best talent, and that's what it's doing. Now, yes, I understand back in the Jordan days, early Kobe Bryant days, rest in peace, that they would play some type of defense, especially towards the end. And you kind of saw that. You kind of see that every year. Now that they're hitting a projected goal or projected score, they're trying to, they're trying to play defense. They don't want to lose. I get that, but it was just boring. And again, I'm not trying to take away from Jason Tatum. Again, shouts out for scoring the most points in All-Star game history with 55. I don't know. And again, maybe it's a one-off because last year didn't feel as last year wasn't boring at all. Maybe that could have been because Curry had 16 threes and LeBron James took it home and hit the three. I don't know, but it just didn't. I don't know. There's something wrong with the All-Star game. Maybe if this is not a one-off, if this is the norm, or if this moving forward is how it's going to be, I am fearful of the future of the All-Star game. And I'm not saying that maybe a little bit more defense. I don't know. And that's the thing. I really don't know how to fix this because, again, there's really no incentive to play any type of defense because these players know that they're the best players in the league. And whether they play defense or not, they still have all-star attached to their name. So it's like, what is the incentive? I could say money, but the league, I don't think that can work with contracts or whatever. So they're allocating money to charities. But even in that, at least what we saw this year, they didn't care. They just did what they, And again, I'm not taking away from all the winners. I'm not taking away from, Jason Tatum winning the Finals MVP. Or not Finals MVP. Winning the All-Star Game MVP. And I saw the stat that the last two Finals MVP or All-Star Game MVPs, which was Giannis and Steph Curry, also went on to win Finals MVP. So maybe Jason Tatum follows suit. I don't know, but I and as a person that loves basketball, still gonna love basketball after the All-Star Game. I just didn't find it exciting, and I didn't find it as entertaining. Well, I didn't really find it entertaining. The most entertaining part was, of course, surprisingly, was Saturday. And the 3-point contest, again, shouts out to Damian Lillard for winning 3-point contest. And the slam dunk contest only because of Matt McClung. I'm sorry. If Matt McClung was not in the slam dunk contest, it would be garbage like it's been for the last few years now. So, All-Star games happened, and now we're on to the second part of the season. But that was just my take. I just felt different watching the All-Star game. It did not excite me like it usually does. Cool jerseys. I did enjoy the East and West jerseys this year, but it just didn't excite me. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.